Kerrit podcast. Podcast, good song.
Yeah, this sounds like something carrots could grow to.
Crunch into us. What's up, Doc? What are we doing?
I don't know.
Fuck them. Crunch.
Hi. Hi.
Huh? Hi, how are you?
If you look close enough, hey,
I can see
Garrett,
me. I'm waving at myself.
Do you want to take the Garrett pill or the Kevin pill?
Oh, that's
Only
crazy.
people watching on YouTube will understand this reference.
Oh man, I think I'm gonna take the Kevin pill. What's that do? I'm gonna take
It
that
goes like this.
one. Oh, was that Nicolas Cage?
I thought it was more John Lovett's The Wedding Singer.
Oh, I remember. His character doesn't really get tied up. It's kind of open ended. Doesn't he threaten someone's life and then just
He basically says he's losing his mind and I'm reaping all the benefits. And then he smiles wide-eyed crazily, curtains shut, and then he succeeds in taking like 80% of Wedding Singer's business for like the movie at that point.
Apparently.
I don't really know. I don't think Sandler really comes back until the end. And I think at that point it's hinted he starts working with David Bowie and is not even a wedding singer anymore. So in some ways, John Lovitz is the go-to small-town wedding singer by the end of that movie.
And I'm reaping all the benefits.
There it is. Sophisticated mama.
Oh God, it was so bad.
I
I haven't
love
seen
it.
that.
It's so good.
You love it?
It's a great movie. It's so fun.
I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
It's so funny. when Alexis Arquette starts singing that song that he only knows one song, he's like, "Give me time."
It's Boy George.
Yeah, and then it's not Alan Covert, but it's the other guy who's always in Adam Sandler movies. He goes, "No, it's Steve Buscemi." He goes, "Ooh, I like her." and then the song ends, and Arquette is expecting Sandler to come back, but he's having a hard time with Drew Barrymore, so he just looks around and is like, "Do this" to the band, and they start the same song, and everyone just looks around and starts booing.
That's right.
It's so stupid. I love it. I can't believe you badmouthed that, you motherfucker.
I didn't badmouth anything.
I heard you badmouth it, and I don't appreciate that. I mean,
I didn't badmouth anything.
Things are tough out here. You're badmouthing The Wedding Singer.
I didn't badmouth it.
Did you know Stephen Lynch was in the Broadway version?
I did know that.
Okay, well, I guess that is the end of that then.
I've seen him live. Very funny.
I forgot about him.
Good, great.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to him. Is he okay?
Yeah, he lives in Kalamazoo. He's from there.
Stephen Lynch does not live in Kalamazoo.
No, he does. He does.
Michigan?
Yes. No, the other Kalamazoo.
California? I've always wanted to go to Kalamazoo, California.
Is that a place?
No.
Exactly.
It sounds fun, though.
My hair is just out of control. This is for the
really?
YouTube people. Yeah.
What about this?
I'm thinking of putting
Look at that.
Wow.
Hi.
Look at that. I like her.
Oh, yeah.
How have you been, bud?
Not bad.
That's good.
Not bad. I've been chilling. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Can I ask you this? I don't know if we're allowed to ask this on live TV, but did you have that, like, how's you're unemployed still technically, right?
Oh yeah, baby.
Do you get that $600 a week? Did you get that?
Nope. I did. And now it is, it's gone. So.
Okay. So what do you do now? How are you?
I've saved up all that money that they sent me, so I have money to live on. But there's people that don't, so I'm just, always thinking about them.
Right.
And
right.
I live with two people that have had their jobs the whole time, so It's just, you feel fucking worthless. That you really do. That's the thing too, is that they're trying to push this of like, well, if you have the extra $600, then it's pushing you to be, you know, a lazy bum. You're not working, you're not contributing anything, and it's giving you incentive to just sit on your ass. That's basically what they're saying. Even though I have felt without a place in this world for the last 4 fucking months, and it's the most self-loathing and depressed I think I've ever been. And then to have the people that dictate your life tell you that you're a lazy piece of shit because of something they fucked up, it's not safe to go back to work. Especially when I work with as many people as I do, traveling from all different parts of the country to meet up and use the same fucking microphone. Lick my ass. So, you know.
I mean, teachers are doing it, Garrett. So
yeah.
Just write a will out. I don't see what the big deal is. If you catch it and die, you'll have the will. So I don't really get what the issue is.
Kids are going back to school. Lots of schools are not enfancing social distancing measures.
None. Dude, have you seen the photos that are released? And
I have.
Fun fact. I finally subscribed to the Washington Post.
I'm on the New York Times.
Nice, dude. It's like it was $1 for the first month, and I was like, let's see how this goes, because I started realizing I am definitely one of those people who like doesn't read the articles as much as they should, and I've been really trying to read them all the way through to get better informed. And the best content out there, I think, I mean, at least one of my personal favorites is the Post right now, and I was like, dude, fuck it. Let's just see what it's like to get see what it would be like to have a subscription. And their articles are awesome.
I'm thinking of doing the Boston Globe that uncovered the pedophilia
Spotlight.
ring, and Spotlight, and then also Miami Herald that tried to break the Epstein story the first time.
Right. I would definitely be open to doing maybe like one more and then focus. I mean, I don't want to do more than 2. I don't know.
Well, it's just so depressing. I mean, you can, God damn it.
It is depressing, but they had a story about a school in Mississippi where I want to say it was in the triple digits of students infected after the first few days or week. And the superintendent said something along the lines of this is not enough of a reason to shut down. I'm paraphrasing, but it was like that. I mean, that's what it was. And it was like, what's the reason? I don't get it.
Until children die, just kidding. They still won't do anything. My favorite are the people who are saying, well, the odds of a child dying are low, so therefore, the odds are in their favor. Someone said a child has better odds of being struck by lightning.
That's not true.
Than dying from COVID.
That cannot be true.
He said, I've seen the data. And then we all said, let's see that data. And he never shared it. And then he deleted all of his comments like a fucking ghost cunt.
I was going to say, that's obscenely impossible. Because then you'd be hearing about people being struck by lightning all the time.
All the time. Well, it's children dying by COVID. And I think someone else brought up the point of it's either 26 or 46 children in the United States have died from COVID. Something like that. It's it's not as many as the rest, but it's,
Isn't
why?
Isn't that a lot?
It is. It is a lot. But you know why it's less than other people? Because children were not in school. That's the reason that kids are out of this equation. And now that you've brought them into the equation, get ready for some fucking Sandy Hook numbers, baby. It's going to be a lot of kids that are going to fucking die. So there's that.
It's still shocking because, I would imagine most schools, I still say my money is most schools will be closed within 2 weeks. That is my...
Yep.
So what are they doing? They must have the foresight to know that maybe not even 2 weeks. Let's say it's a month. Let's say that's still it's still going to happen. You've postponed it by 4 weeks. What are you going to do now?
Merry Christmas. Sorry all your best friends are dead.
Dude, I forget, I was listening to NPR on the way home from work.
Fucking liberal.
Yeah, I know, right? Which is so stupid because NPR is
unbiased.
It's so unbiased that they intentionally make it sound unbiased, if that makes sense. Did I tell you what they said about defund the police?
No.
When the protests first began, 6 weeks, 8 weeks ago, God, it's been a while, holy shit.
Oh, yeah.
They said something along the lines of, this person does not support defund the police, and there's still not a clear definition of what that means. And I'm sitting there in the driver's seat like, yes, there is.
There's a clear definition.
It's very clear. They're saying there's not a clear definition for those idiots who don't understand that it means more than like just like no cops. Like that's what people think. That's what they take away from it. And that's who NPR was speaking to. And I was like, dude, come on. Like
it's basically because people like yourself before, where you wouldn't read the full article. That's the same as like people hearing defund the police and they're like, no, because the cops, it's like you don't, there is so much more. This is the tip of the iceberg. You realize how it goes all the way down? Let's read all the way down.
I just have to say the weird thing about that is like, obviously reading the full article gives you much more context, but in regards to defund the police, that's such a specific idea that if you hear about it, you can very easily just be like, oh, this is what it means if I Google it. Like that's it.
It literally just a search, just a fucking search. But
it's nothing crazy.
All these people will listen to like YouTube conspiracy theories and like, is God coming because Trump is president and he comes from money? It's just like you've been saying the last fucking 8 presidents have been the Antichrist. Like these religious zealots I'm talking about.
I know. I love those guys.
In
they
specificity.
really do make life spicy.
God, it's funny because usually white people not a fan of spice.
No. I want some milk, please, and I would like some bread. Thank you.
Are you poor? No, just white.
Excuse me, this is wheat. I wanted white bread. This bread is too brown. It has too many grains. And I don't want almond milk. No, wait, I do want almond milk. I'm white.
That's destroying the environment, right? Well,
I heard about that, actually. That's so nuts. It was like 15 gallons for like, I don't remember, an equivalent amount of nuts, basically.
Dude, it didn't dawn on. So there's almond milk and then almond butter. Just fucking use butter, man. Use peanut butter. I mean,
I've tried almond butter. It's not as good as it sounds.
No. Almond milk. Once you know how bad it is for the environment, it's just like, I don't think I need that. Like I'd rather have regular milk from a cow in the fucking neighborhood.
I just think it's amazing when you get that one dessert with almonds. What's that one thing called? It has like almond.
I don't know.
Come on, listeners. Write into kerritpod@gmail.com and tell me what I'm talking about.
I'll check the email right now.
It's like a croissant. Thank you. It's like a croissant. Did you get anything?
Nothing.
Those fucking sons of bitches. God damn it.
No worries.
There's a dessert out there that is like some kind of almond paste is used as like a frosting or a filling in some kind of bear claw / croissant type thing. And the almond, it's amazing. It's so creamy and delicious. But if you get almond butter, I assumed it would taste something like that, like very sweet and creamy. But it's very like nutty, and not nutty in a fun way, but like just kind of like, oh, I just would rather eat peanut butter at this point.
For sure.
It tastes like the worst parts of almonds.
Well, it's like crunchy peanut butter, but it's not peanuts. It's like weird. It's synthetic-y. I don't know. It's just. We've been having oat milk. That's what we've been having. Have you had oat milk yet?
I have not. I know I am white, so I apologize. I haven't tried that one yet, but I'd like to look into the different kinds of milk that are out there, and I do like oats.
How many people do you run into on a daily basis that talk like that out in Minnesota?
2.
I mean, that's pretty high numbers for
that's
quarantine.
A lot. I think that's a lot. They come in there like, oh, geez, well, how much do I owe you there? And I'm like, oh, get the fuck out of here. Just, God damn it.
Yeah, no, so oat milk is, it's pretty good, I'll be honest. And it's the best for the environment. So there's that. Soy milk is like, fine. Nothing. Let's be honest. This us using energy and recording this podcast right now is also helping destroy the environment. So
literally humans are destroying the environment. I mean, the only way we wouldn't be is if we literally did that whole Star Trek government where like there was no money and people were just planting trees just to plant trees and we're not polluting because it's Star Trek. I don't think there's pollution in Star Trek.
I mean, not in space. It's space, but
well,
the
like
final frontier.
On the world they had made in the Earth and on the Earth times in Star Trek, everything's like a utopia. That's how it's imagined to be.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. It is very interesting. That's why the show's good.
Isn't it fascinating that like anytime there's peace in something, it's a sci-fi movie? It's,
I know,
like, it's science fiction. It's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
So.
I have to plug my computer in. Can we go to an ad yet or no?
I
can make it last for another 6 minutes until we get to a better spot in the timeline.
Well, just plug it in, and I'll keep talking about.
Plug it in. Okay,
I'll talk about oat milk. Yeah. So if you guys wanna watch that on the YouTube, you can watch how ridiculous Kevin is. But yeah, oat milk is it's great. It tastes good. And one suggestion, which you're back now. One suggestion, if you do have oat milk, is shake it beforehand because it's a thing that kind of settles. So you just have to shake it. But it's good. It tastes like regular milk, and it also adds a little something to it. It's pretty good, and it's expensive, and that's always the thing too.
And it's expensive.
Yeah.
That's how I like my milk. Expensive.
Well, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's good. So there's that.
I would try it. We've been doing almond milk only because it's so easy to throw into.
It's the price as oat milk.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. I didn't know that. Yeah, I mean,
all the secondary milks are like the same price. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Soy milk is like it's better for the environment than almond milk, but it's like weird hormone stuff. That's what I've heard.
Well, I mean, I guess if you're transitioning, that'd be pretty solid.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you don't need any shots. Just take shots of soy milk.
Just drink only soy milk.
Yeah. So what were you saying? You have an almond milk because?
Well, so you can do a diet where it's literally like almond milk and protein powder, and it kind of tastes like a chocolate shake, but it has all of like the basic nutrients and calories you would need for like a light lunch. And it's not very filling, and it worked for a while until I stopped. So
that'll do it.
So that will do it in the opposite way of what you want done. It will be done. It has been done. So
I went shopping yesterday, and there was a guy. I saw most people wearing masks, and then there's probably, I want to say 20% that had it below their nose.
Oh my god, that bugs me so much.
Just put how fucking hard, whatever. And then I saw one guy without one, like checking out. And
did anyone confront him?
No, because they're not paid to. Why would they do it? The amount of videos that are out there of people getting the shit kicked out. One guy killed another guy. Or I think he pulled a gun and then the cops killed him or something like that. That's happened a couple times because people don't want to wear masks. And it's like,
I know.
Why would you enforce it if this person could be a fucking... But this guy, looking at him, I was like, this guy is for sure named Kyle, and he is ready to fucking throw down. But he didn't have one on. Happiest guy in the world. I guess. I can't see people smile anymore because they're all wearing masks. But it
was easy for him, though, because he had a giant grin on his face. He was like,
yeah, just this big smarmy fuck. Just like, I know for a fact no one's going to say anything to me. And it's like, Jesus Christ, you piece of shit. I believe he was getting almond milk and protein powder. So.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, no. You saw me visit Michigan. I've been exposed as a mask denier.
Your name's not Kyle, it's Kevin.
Oh no, you've learned my other secret. My name began with another K this whole time.
And I'm Kerrit, and this is the Kerrit Podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome to the departed version of our show, where we wait 20 minutes until the credits roll.
That's Friday the 13th as well.
Yes, as well as Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
I like when they do that in movies. I like
Me
a big,
too.
like, the world is not enough. I like a big, long thing and then the credits.
You know, most people like. Never mind. I'm gonna stop.
It's almost like it goes so long that you forgot credits are supposed to happen. But it actually in Friday the 13th, it's the credits are happening during the black and white stuff, and then there's a scene, and then the title card.
Do you mean the? Oh, you mean the new one?
The remake? Yeah.
The remake, yeah. Oh God, there was another one that did that. I just watched it. What was it? I don't remember, but I will come back to you if I think of it.
Cool, great.
Yeah, but huh?
What do you want to talk about, bud? I mean, we still got James Bond stuff we can talk about.
We do.
We never finished those video games, huh?
We never finished those video games.
And we have people that have written us on a Facebook post that I should include in this thing.
That's cool. Hang on. Let me think. Before we continue.
Yeah, what do we... What?
I just want to figure out what else is out there. Did you see Trump's Axios interview?
I have watched it in segments. I can't stand him for more than 4 minutes.
I watched the whole thing.
I'm like 28 minutes in, maybe.
It is actually... It's not as bad as people say until you start realizing how bad it is, if that makes sense. Because when I first started watching it, I was like, oh, he's talking. That's a good sign. And then it keeps going, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Then you realize it's just normal behavior for him. He will never let anyone actually ask their question, let them finish retorting, and he's a fucking definition of a politician. He's not answered a single fucking question.
There are so many meme opportunities, so I do appreciate that. I gotta say,
there have been great videos. Have you watched them?
I haven't seen them. The one I saw was this is not gonna. You need to see the picture. The verbal quality is not enough. But anyway, the meme I saw was they're chilling. It's Jonathan Swan and Donald Trump, and Donald Trump says like hands the paper back. Mm-hmm. And so Trump hands the paper back. Swan looks at it. It says the princess is in another castle. You realize Jonathan Swan has a Mario hat on, and he has that weird look on his face. Yeah. And then it shows Trump with a Bowser hat on, and he's just like he's like that idiot asshole frog face.
That's fun. There's a couple videos I've seen. There's one where someone has changed the graph papers he's looking at to be will you go out with me? And then check yes or no. And then he hands it to him, and he hands it to Jonathan Swan, and then Swan makes that face, and then he goes, no. And then it cuts to Trump, and he's just, that's for the video people, but he's just like, come on.
Dude.
And there's another one where someone replaced Jonathan Swan with Donald Trump. So it's him talking to himself, arguing with himself. It's fucking genius.
Stuff like that is just so fun, honestly. It's
the best because you know it ruins his ego. I mean, that shit is what really gets to him. He can't take any criticism, and that's what the whole interview is. It's just like, what would you do? What are you going to do about this? Oh, look at all the things I've done. I've done so many good things for black people. Okay, what did you do? What do you... I'm not saying you didn't do anything. I'm saying, what are you going to do about Black Lives Antifa? Antifa, and he keeps putting his fucking hands oh Jesus.
He looks like he's taking a shit the entire interview. Also, he's just like hunched over, like so uncomfortable. He looks like a snake, like an old blobby gross snake that just ate John Voight, and it's trying to break out of its skin, but it got like stuck on the toilet somehow because in this metaphor, snakes are on crappers doing that.
I mean, it makes sense. We should just change the Republican Party from elephants to snakes.
We should just expunge Republicans. Did you hear about the New York Attorney General trying to dissolve the NRA Foundation?
I did. Excited.
I love it. I love it. I really hope that all of this turmoil turns around, I mean, let's pretend to be optimistic and just imagine how wonderful the release will be once we start seeing results of people being punished for their corruption.
Well, I just hate the idea that this country is supposed to be the greatest, but then anytime you bring something up that is pretty integral to the running of it, someone will be like, oh, no, I don't like that. And you're like, okay, well, that's a problem then. So how about we address this and fix it? No, we don't have to. Everything's perfect. No, you just said, though, that it's not perfect. There's something that you don't like. So how about we try and change that thing that you don't like? We can come together and actually work on that. Well, I don't like that people are on unemployment making more money than everybody else. Listen, we wouldn't have to worry about that if people were actually making a living wage at their job. So, I don't know. It really upsets me. But, hopefully the release is good. I'd love to see that.
I would too. And then last thing, did you hear about, so Kanye is running for president, but did you hear about like the Republicans that are helping him get on the ballot in certain states?
No.
Specifically Republican operatives. It's awesome.
I did not. Tell me about it.
It's great. The only state I remember offhand is Wisconsin. I know there's a couple other ones for sure. And this is all this comes back to articles I've been reading. This one was from CNN, so I do apologize if that counts as too right or left wing for you. But basically saying that Republicans are trying to get Kanye on the ballot to take black votes away from Joe Biden.
That makes sense.
Which it does make sense, and it's really sad because, Kanye's obviously in a delicate place mental healthily.
I think the problem is that people who think that this has weight are basically saying that black people are stupid. And I mean, I don't think it's... I think that the media is making this out to be a bigger thing than it actually is.
I think so too, but like I heard an interview with Chance the Rapper on NPR, who's a pretty thoughtful dude, and he's pretty well spoken, and he's really turned his attention into politics recently. And but he's made music with Kanye before, and he didn't really he it's just kind of weird because he thinks that Trump is 100% going to get elected. Okay, and this is like a young black man. I'm not saying he represents every single person's perspective.
Yeah,
but he's an influential young rapper who's pretty
sure.
thoughtful, and he's pretty in the know. And so it was just kind of weird to hear him say, I think Donald Trump is 100% going to win. I don't plan on voting for Joe Biden because he doesn't represent my interests. And
so who's he going to vote for? Kanye?
I don't know. I mean, he has expressed, I wouldn't say support, but not support, even though Kanye is so obviously a terrible candidate.
Listen, we are on the precipice of another 4 years of what is happening right now. We keep seeing ads that are like, this is Joe Biden's America, and it's footage of America now. I mean, we've all seen that shit. If you're smart, you can look at that and be like, this is fucking now. I don't want to see that. We've seen this. We've seen these ads.
Or footage from an uprising in Bulgaria or something. Yeah.
It's just like, it's not, oh my God. So we could have more of that, or we could get to a point where we can pivot back and and I know we're regressing, but I would rather regress. That's the right word, right?
I don't even think that's true. I mean, we're regressing in the traditional sense where we're going back to a more corporate-backed central figure. But at the same time, we've gone back so far in a different way that
that's what I'm saying.
I would rather crave a sort of regression to the corporate norm at this point.
I would rather regress backwards so we can go forwards in this direction rather than go forwards in this direction and then it's unknown. I mean, what do we do after that, At least we can take 2 steps back and then take 3 steps forward versus take 2 steps forward into fucking the ether. I mean, this is terrifying. So
I know. I mean, I hate what's going on. I voted by mail, so that was cool.
So did I.
and I looked online to see if my vote was counted, and it was.
You can do that?
You can do that. At least in Minnesota you can.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, you just need your name and like the last 4 of your social, and then it just tells you. It's awesome. I would recommend looking it up for you, actually.
I mean, let's see. I will do that on the pod, and then we'll take a break.
Okay, Google it. Just Google it. Go, did my ballot get counted, Michigan?
Did my ballot get counted, Michigan? Excuse me. Michigan Voter Information Center.
This is exactly what I did for Minnesota, so I'm assuming it's similar for you.
Okay. NVIC Voter Information Center. Are you registered? Yes, I am. Okay. View ballots by precinct, register to vote, how to register absentee voting. Is it that? Because it's just, please use one of the search options below. View your sample ballot for the upcoming election. Track the status. Yeah, I want to track the status. All right, so I'll just do... All right.
Yeah, do that.
Okay. Okay. All right, here we go. Oh, boy.
What happened?
It just Oh, application received July 2nd. That's when I sent it in. Application received July 2nd. Ballot sent July 2nd. Ballot received July 20th. Yes.
18 days?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
I dropped mine off. I dropped mine off on that day. So it didn't.
That's good.
That's pretty good.
That means they counted it right then. They were like, I want to get some of this creamy Kerrit freedom in my computer system. Yeah.
Wow, that was great.
Thank you. I just for the 4 listeners that we have, and I know you're all going to vote, but at least in Minnesota, early voting starts, I want to say September 18th.
Mm-hmm.
I highly encourage you to get at least like 2 or 3 other people to vote with you that early just to get it out of the way.
Yep. I mean, the moment I get my ballot, it's going right into the ballot drop box.
Yeah, because fuck that fucking stupid asshole who's trying to slow the mail down. Mm-hmm. He's trying to fucking sow the seeds of discord now about how everything's unfair so that he can fucking challenge it later. And everyone sees through his quote-unquote clever ruse. It's not clever at all. That's why I did the quotes. And anyway, I'm just mad and stupid.
The thing that blows my mind, and this is a shout out to someone that I've been fighting with on my Facebook wall about I'm basically saying that absentee ballots and mail-in ballots are the same thing.
They're 100% the same thing.
Well, they're not technically because of what this asshat has been saying, and I'm saying this because I know for a fact he's not going to listen to this podcast, but he's a mutual friend of ours. We went to high school with him. Anyway, He's sent like a thing, and basically like mail-in voting is where you mail in your ballot, and then absentee voting is where you have a reason as to why you're voting absentee, and that's basically the main difference. So what I said was, so basically, if I mail in my absentee ballot and I have COVID as the reason for being an absentee vote and using the mail, I'm now mailing in an absentee ballot, correct? Also, I didn't mail mine. I dropped mine off. So really, you can file absentee. Also, only 5 states just send you a ballot.
Yeah.
Only 5 cents. Only 5 states.
I was watching John Oliver on this, actually.
Mm-hmm. So it's so... Like, I get what he's saying. It's like they're not the same.
It's like, semantics.
It's semantics.
He's trying to win an argument. But they're still both mailed.
Yes.
You're still voting not at the precinct by mailing it in. One is because I just want to, because I have that right as an American, because I have a ballot, whatever. Mm-hmm. And then one is, I have cancer and I can't go anywhere from my hospital bed.
But you can, like, literally, if you get, the only way that you can get a ballot is having it mailed. Actually,
you have to apply for it.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to formulate in my head. You have to apply in the other 45 states, and then you get your ballot through the mail. That's the only way you can get it is mail. Or you can go in on voting day and then use that same fucking ballot that day. That's the only way. So it's strict, like absentee is only by mail. Getting it. Then to give it, you can either mail it back or you can drop it off, and it's still an absentee ballot. So just because you dropped it off means that it's not a mail-in... Fucking shut the... Hoof. Oh my fucking God. It drives me banana sandwich.
So if I'm looking at a Venn diagram of this...
Yes.
It's a take-home ballot.
Yep.
And it can either be dropped off or mailed in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the Venn diagram.
Yeah, you got it. It's pretty easy to understand when you fucking think. And then at one point he said, or because I said something to the effect, he said like many people are doing this or many something. And I was like, if by many you mean 5 states worth, okay, there's 45 others. And he's like, I'm looking at this from I'm not looking at this from a pathos standpoint or something like that. And I was like, I'm not either, you motherfucker. This is logos all the way. This is logical thinking. And he didn't reply. So I don't know. It's whack-a-mole with these idiots.
Why was the argument taking place at all?
Because I said absentee, like it was Trump said something and he said
he said like mail-in is wrong,
absentee is fine. And yeah, I said mail-in and absentee are exactly the same thing. And then he comes in with the semantics.
They're not technically the same.
Yes. Fucking put a gun barrel in your mouth. I'm so sick of these fucking people. You know what I'm trying to say. You know what's being said. You know what's at stake. Fucking send your kids to school and I hope they die. I sincerely hope these dumb people fucking lose someone that means something to them like I have. It's insane.
I saw... Well, you lost somebody?
Not to COVID, but just, you know, like people that you're like, oh, I thought you were smart. I've lost a lot of people during this lockdown.
I don't think I have actually, but I don't know. Maybe I have.
I lost an uncle. I couldn't go to his funeral this past Monday because of Corona.
Really?
So, yeah, I'm not fucking going. But I mean,
well, how did he? I didn't know you lost an uncle. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I didn't say anything about it, but it's. I mean, you know, it's extended family.
Right.
So,
still.
Yeah, it's a bummer. It's just weird to think like he's not in the world anymore, and it wasn't connected to Corona, but the fact that you can't like, you know, see your family in that moment.
Right.
Because of my fucking paranoia. It's also this. It's like mostly people in that side of the family are like anti-mask, and I'm like, well, there's no fucking chance I'm going.
Right.
So.
Right. You can't do it. You can't do it.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, I think it's funny. I just have to say, I think it's funny how that argument about absentee versus mail-in, I feel like that happens a lot where people debate they debate into such the smallest details. And I used to think that made sense in a way because I used to think you could talk about anything endlessly to get to the details. And I thought that there was almost like I don't know, like there was, in my head, it was almost like there was so much detail out there that it's hard to actually grasp the exact nature of any given situation. And what I mean now, and the reason I think that is because, like, you know, think about all the thoughts that go through people's heads that are not even tangible, or the ones that are the private conversations they have, or the conversations they have with themselves, or how they are in this situation or that situation, and how all of that brings a conversation together with other people in a different room. You know, all this stuff is very, very unique to everything. Mm-hmm. But then I realized, after reading a couple articles, that it all boils down to a decision that's made, right? Yeah. Eventually. So, for example, Chuck Schumer comes out and says, this bill doesn't allow anybody to sue hospitals for any sort of malpractice in the future. They're talking about the current stuff that is the bill that's being talked about in Congress right now. And he was on like MSNBC or CNN or whatever, and the interviewer was like, "What? No, that's not true."
He's like, "No, that is. I've been on Capitol Hill the whole time. That is."
And Washington Post, they rate these these statements by politicians on a scale of Pinocchios, which is a little too cheeky for me, but that's fine. That's a different story. They gave it like 3 Pinocchios. And so I was reading the article. I'm like, well, how is he wrong? And what he's wrong at is by having a flat no, you could never do it. Because you can do it. It's just that, but the way that the rules are presented with the loopholes in the language and the law makes it so that it's going to be incredibly difficult because that language is so open to interpretation.
That's almost worse.
Right. So I'm like, okay, I mean, I get what you're saying. He technically isn't accurate because there's no concise language saying you cannot do this. But what he is expressing is that it is a monumentally difficult task to accomplish this, especially depending on your means and situation, which is everyone at this point. It is in the same boat. Like, 99% of us are in the same boat. So it's just kind of like, has anyone tried presenting, hey, if someone tries to sue for malpractice, there has to be an investigation? Right, but the way the bill is worded is like there needs to be provable like gross negligence, and it needs to be related to COVID or something, and it's pretty vague. It's pretty impossible to prove like anything there, really. If you have like a good lawyer, in the hospital would. That's what the point would be here. Well, I mean, did you ever listen to the Dirty Doctor or something? What was it called? Isn't that guy who fucking put like screws in people's backs? Yes. And just, oh man, I listened to that podcast, and the amount of bullshit that people had to go through to get him, his license taken away. He was like a priest. He kept getting moved around to different things. I'm so sorry. It's okay. I'm so sorry. We'll just go to a break right now. This is the Kerrit. Anchors away. Anchors into the water, everyone. Let's start again. I was talking about the dirty doctor. Okay. I can't remember what it's called. It's called Dr. Death? No, that was Jack Kevorkian, who I'm a fan of, by the way. What I know what you're talking about. Dr. Death. Maybe it is Dr. Death. Hold on. I really think it is something like that. I have this podcast saved. I know what you're talking about because my hairstylist, when I could get my hair cut, I swear, honestly, whatever. Anyways. I like true crime podcasts. I'm white. We've established this. I like milk, and I'm white, and I like true crime podcasts. They're very easy to listen to. I love lurid details. It is called Dr. Death. And the thing about that, you're right. It took forever to... And that's such a great example because that's one specific like psychopath like fucking shit up so hard, visibly and immediately, and so noticeably. I said visibly and noticeably are the same thing. But that's the thing is no one would hold him accountable. Exactly. And we have the same problem with the cops. There's no accountability. Yep. Exactly. So if you think for a second that if we have people who are handling these types of things that aren't in it for their own self-interest, you're fucking insane. And so I completely agree. And especially in a situation like this where the U.S.'s stance is go back to work and you're on your own. So and send kids to school off to die. How about this? This is an interesting thing. So I wanted to go get tested this past weekend, and I went to an urgent care place, and my copay was going to be $75. You know why? Because I didn't have a referral from my insurance because I wasn't showing symptoms. That's the only way that you can get a fucking test if you're showing symptoms. So you have to fake symptoms. So you have to fake symptoms or be like, I was exposed to somebody. Like you have to lie to get a free test during a pandemic in America, by the way, the greatest country on the earth. And for the people listening, I was using quotes. This is just like when I had to write somebody up at work 6 years ago. I had to write someone up at work because he called in the morning of his shift and he said, I am too tired to come in. I'm going to take a sick day. He was afforded like 4 sick days a year or something. Like he could get sick days. But because he said he was tired and not that he was sick, I had to write him up for it. And he confronted me with this. He's like, so if I had said I was coughing and had the flu, you wouldn't write me up. And I said, no, and it's stupid. And I agree with you. And I'm mad that I have to do this.
Yep.
And
that's when you worked at Blamazon, right?
No, that's when I worked at Valet.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
And so it was just like, it was such a taste of like what management styles have become popular here in America, which is like a fucking like just punishment. Just punishment for anything. And also
the United States of loopholes.
It is. And so that's why, just to quick bring it back to what I was talking about, how like people are complicated and there are all these like things going on in people's heads and all these conversations that are being had, and America's so big and diverse, blah blah blah. And then you realize it's not that complicated. Like, you're making it complicated because you're a corrupt piece of shit, and you will not fucking change your ways because you have been radicalized into some kind of ridiculous political/religious ideology that is simply backwards from any sort of understanding that we could have together.
And truly, it's stupid and ignorant, like willfully ignorant people that are Trump supporters, and it's plain to see that it's just because you're avoiding information. You're in any facet, and the way that this entire country is set up is to they want the education system to not teach you everything, so you can stay dumb. They want you to. They keep saying like don't drink, don't do drugs, but they fucking love when you do. They love when you're distracted, right? They love that because you're going to stick to what you believe. You're going to stick to the things that you think you know. And then also, they make everything confusing on purpose. So when it's something that you actually need, like to pay taxes or to get a license or to do this or to do that with hospitals and stuff and any insurance, anything like that, it's made hard to understand on purpose. They want you in the place that you're in. I can make this into a comedy thing. When you're an MC, they only want you to MC. And when you're a feature, luckily, they only want you to feature. When you finally move up to headliner, they fucking want you to still feature and MC shit. They don't want to move you out of the position that you're in. Why? Because it's easier for them. That's it.
Exactly.
It's easier for the people in power with the most money to keep you down. That's it.
Yep.
And it's easier to grade you based on your religion, your gender, your race, anything like that. So they they make this own hierarchy, and black people are at the fucking bottom because it's easier for them. It's easier for them to never admit that they did anything wrong in this country. The United States has only apologized for like 4 fucking things. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah. Like, they apologized for, I think Obama apologized to, what was it?
I know what you're talking
Japan,
about.
For Nagasaki. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Obama did. Like, that was fucking, 60 years before that? Give or take? That's insane.
Yeah, I know.
Jesus.
It's so crazy. And it reminds me, I just have to say, it's like when I'm writing an email. And my email is supposed to be full of a lot of technical information for like a boss or a co-worker or whatever. And I'm reading it and I'm like, this looks like shit. I don't understand why I vomited all these stupid words here. I am going to delete this, put a period here, delete this, put a period here, separate these into different paragraphs. I don't care if it's like 1 sentence paragraphs. It's an email. I just want to get information across. And then it's like, oh, and now it makes sense. But we can't seemingly do that on anything because we're so partisan. And it's not even partisanship. It is truly, I mean, obviously that's what it is reported in the news. Yeah. I mean, it's because that's, I don't know. I think it's, I guess the media is still stuck in the ways of the past, and they still promote Trump as like a president. I was listening to the radio again where it was NPR, and they said President Trump like visited or was talking about the bill, and he said, well, I'll have to act unilaterally if this bill doesn't get passed, and we'll figure something out. And I'm just like, he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Like, don't fucking call him the president. He's not fucking doing anything. He no thinking whatsoever. He is there. He's just being, talking out of his ass, obviously.
Well, he keeps wishing Ghislaine Maxwell multiple times now. He's wished her well in prison because, and I quote, I don't wish any bad on anybody. I'm pretty sure that's quote. Maybe I'll put it in here or something.
Maybe you can
I didn't. Oh, I downloaded it. I can play it for you right now. But it blows my fucking mind that this guy who is supporting. But if you're saying I hope nothing happens to a like charged pedophile, you're fucking supporting. That's it.
Yeah.
He's supporting Jizz Lady is what he's doing.
I mean, generally, depending on context, I'd support Jizz Lady. But it turns out, in this one context, wait a minute, she's a pedophile. Whoops.
It's almost like we haven't... I mean, we all know the fucking story. We've all been in lockdown. We've watched documentaries. We've read the news. We know how fucked up her and Epstein are. And then you're still going to go on the defensive for this coos? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, dude.
She deserves to burn in fucking hell.
I think she deserves to just like rat on every single person that she's come into contact with. And
well, obviously.
Also be completely... Hang on, do you hear that? Oh, this really...
Motorcycle?
Did you hear it? Oh, that was so cool. Oh my gosh.
Dude, I'm so wet right now.
Dude, honestly, there's this weird moment, like this rush I get where I'm just like, oh, that's so cool. Oh, that's so cool. And they go like this. And it echoes off the buildings. I'm just thinking to myself, like, I want to fuck.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I want to blow every motorcycle-ist ever.
Yeah, me too. Huge fan. It makes you wonder, no wonder Jizz Lady was so successful. She probably had a motorcycle, right? She had to have.
I love that we've been just calling her Jizz Lady on this fucking podcast.
I'm white, and the first time I saw her name written, which was like 5 months ago because I'm an idiot.
Yeah, Jizz Lady.
It's Ghi's.
Jizz Lane.
So I was like, is it Ghislaine? And it's not.
No, it's definitely not.
But, I just love the idea of like this rich, corrupt British guy. And, he dies because he's like assassinated or whatever because he's a piece of shit. And his wife gives birth to like this sloppy, like demon figure. And he's like, oh, name her Ghislaine, and I'll spell it Ghislaine. And as long as she's never in the papers for pedophilia, that will be a good time for her. and now he's like watching Up from Hell or whatever, and he's just like the one thing I said not to do.
Get in the papers for sex trafficking children. Dude, that story, like, they tried to break it, and then they kept referring to these young children as underage prostitutes.
I know, I love it.
And it's like...
so great.
I mean,
love the world we live in.
It's fucking... It's just because...
They're like 14.
Well, it's
not funny. I'm sorry. It's really not funny.
It's funny because it's depressing.
It's so depressing. Like, these are official court documents.
The ludicrousness of it. I mean, I just watched Spotlight again, and to see like people trying to cover it up, be like, "Oh, this is a good Catholic town. You don't want to say anything about the." I mean, look how much good he does, and it's like, I'm pretty sure the bad outweighs putting crackers in people's mouths on Sunday. Lick my fucking ass.
Did you hear? Hey, I get to bring it back to football. Did you hear that the New Orleans Saints? Oh God, I read this a while ago. Their name? No, they had communications with the Archbishop of New Orleans, who had child abuse, child rape allegations against him, and their legal team helped him. And the emails were released where it's like, hey, like, how would you like to handle this? Like that kind of helping where it's like, obviously we're on your side already type stuff. And it's just like, God, dude, why are you thinking? It's a fucking child rapist.
Yeah. If you try, here's the deal. It's not hard to grasp either. If you try and cover up child rape,
maybe don't do that.
You rape children, or you want to. There's two different things, and they're both for sure possibilities.
Dude, it's tough because
no one just covers up a pedophile and they're like, well, I mean, it's his right to do it, and it's like you don't want to?
The only devil's advocate tidbit of information I can add to this is like in the realm of legality, everyone is given like a right to due process with somebody who is like fighting for them. But at the same time, it's you're gotta understand. I mean, like especially in this situation, you're a major organization. Mm-hmm. And why the fuck would you want to support that? Like, you're publicly supporting that is what you're doing. It's not like some lawyer who's just out of law school trying to flex his philosophical muscles.
Like Trump wishing Ghislaine well.
Yeah, exactly.
The most fascinating thing to me is that you said the devil's advocate of this. I'm going to go the other direction and say you've just described another loophole. The entire justice system, it's just about how much money you have and how weird how can we defend this case
in the dumbest way possible.
Also, that goes for the prosecution too. I just watched The Staircase. Have you ever seen that?
I've not.
Have you heard the story?
Nope. Does someone get pushed down a staircase? I love movies like that.
Well, it's this guy who his wife fell down the stairs and it had like claw marks on her head, and they said like the prosecution charged him for murder, saying that a fall down the stairs couldn't cause those things. So what he ended up doing was taking a blow poke and like hitting her multiple times, and their story was that, and no motive. And then later a motive came up about how he was having an affair and he's gay or bi, and he's like, you know, on his computer they found that he was communicating with other people and then trying to like meet up with them and have sex with them, and like some he would or whatever. And the story was that she found out about it and then he threw her down the stairs and killed her. And that's the story that they stuck to. Now, the way that our justice system works is the prosecution presents their theory. They try to prove that theory correct. And then the defense has to defend itself, but only based on what the prosecution has brought up. So therefore, the defense can't be like, well, we think that this happened. The defense can only defend the points that the prosecution has brought up. And since those are the only things that the prosecution has brought up, that's what they have to defend. A. B. The second thing about this is that all the experiments that they were trying to do to prove their story correct were in the stupidest fucking circumstances. And for 1 second, if you had any science background, you would be like, that is fucking highly improbable. It's impossible. And you're molding the situation to reflect your side of the story. You're not actually seeking the truth. You're seeking your story. Mm-hmm. But because we have 12 people who are jurors who are easily impressionable by who is the most outlandish with their story and the most performative, therefore, that becomes what they find. And you can have people lying on the stand, have perjury, all that shit, and it's a loop. United, bless you. Corona, the United States of loopholes. And that's, I mean, he went to prison for 8 years and then he got out on appeal and then had to plea the Alford plea.
Oh, which is I'm guilty and it's time served and we're done.
Well, it's admitting they have enough evidence against you and you're admitting guilt on paper, but you're still providing your innocence. And the thing with that is it's really interesting that if they genuinely believe that this person did it, why would they admit to letting them go on an Alford plea? You know? So it means that they don't really think that they did it in their heart, because enough things, it's basically when enough things have come to light about how much they lied during the investigation and how fucked they made this person. Therefore, well, you got us. But he also said the Alford plea because he didn't want to put his family through this anymore. He also said, since they have played such a dirty game in the beginning, why wouldn't they play a dirty game now to keep him away forever, you know? So, and then after all that, like, before the final, this is gonna fucking blow your mind if you don't know this part of the story.
I've not heard it.
Before he was sentenced in 2002, I think it was 2001, 2002, to jail or prison, there was a theory that was brought forth to the defense because they found tiny little owl hairs in her scratches. Now, they couldn't do anything with this because it was right before the end of the trial. Like, they've already made final statement, everything. They couldn't do anything. The theory is that the owl went into the house, scratched her, she freaked out at the top of the stairs trying to get it away. It keeps clawing her, which would explain those weird claw marks in the back of her head and on her body. And then she fell down the stairs, bleeding mess, couldn't get up, couldn't figure out how to do it. And then, that's what did it. And then he ran in there, and then she was dying in his arms. Yeah, that's another thing, too, is, like, for someone to die in your arms that you genuinely do love, and then you get accused of murdering the person, it's, So,
it's
yeah, the owl theory.
Crazy. That's awful.
This is the cherry on top. The owl hairs are only from a specific owl because that owl has tiny, tiny hairs on its claws, and that owl is popular in that part of the country.
Wow.
Like, it lives in there, so it only makes sense. Like, that's science working to find the truth. Not,
right.
Well, we think he did it with a blowpoke. We can't find the blowpoke. You can't find it, so you think he destroyed it? Yeah. And then it turns out later they fucking found it. It wasn't gone. It wasn't missing. There were cobwebs on it, and there was no fucking blood on it. And then also find out later they did find it upon investigation. And they thought, well, maybe this is what he used. And then they took pictures with it. And then they destroyed the pictures so the fucking defense couldn't find it. So they could go with that story. Dude, that is the United States of loopholes. It's insane.
Yep. Anything to say, we got a conviction, we get the credit, come get represented by us, we're in the media now.
It's basically because people want closure in any way they can get it. So if you can put a face to the death, they don't care if it's true. They will convince themselves that it's true so they can sleep at night.
Yep.
People want to know why.
Dude, it's so crazy. I mean, anyway, so I mean, that is a huge. It's so interesting because that's a hugely depressing portion of the reality that we are in right now. Is false accusations and false imprisonment. And it's something I don't think about all the time. Like, I do think about it. It's definitely, like, there. Like, I was even reading, I think last week I was reading about a bunch of child murders on Wikipedia because, again, lurid details.
Oh, that's fun.
Well, so for, like, one example was, like, they arrested a 14-year-old black child for, I think it was murder. I believe it was murder. But they executed him. And it was easily proven innocent, like, immediately. Like, he definitely didn't do it.
When did they execute him?
This would have been, I think it was like the 30s, so it was way back in the day.
Oh, okay.
But, way back in the day, like,
it's really,
still humans, like, walking around with brains.
There's still people that are alive that were alive in the 30s. So.
Right. And the other one that comes to mind is Charles Lindbergh's child was abducted, right?
Story of murder on the Orient Express.
Yeah,
Spoilers.
Yeah, totally.
It is.
I did not know that, actually.
Yeah, it's based on that.
So Johnny Depp killed Charles Lindbergh Jr.?
No, dude, the fucking remake doesn't even include the Lindbergh shit.
Well,
the original does.
Oh, so I don't know who played him in the original. So my joke, just cut this part out because I don't know who this is.
It's in.
We'll say instead, so Sidney Lumet
directed
the guy who murdered Charles Lindbergh Jr. and then killed him on camera with Sean Connery as one of the murderers. That's crazy. And we're done with that bit. And so basically they executed 2 people for it. One of them was like the German help. And a lot of evidence is strongly against is for his innocence.
Yeah.
They killed him anyways.
Yep.
People just love killing people for retribution. It's so odd. It really is, because you'd think that we wouldn't want to do that immediately. You'd think we'd want to try everything in our power to make sure that what we're doing is the right thing. You know what? Investigating is done by humans. And the one thing I know about humans is that at every level, we're all idiots. We're all pretending like we know what we're doing. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden we I don't even know. We're like, we really want this, you arrested someone for murder, huh? Cool. Well, yeah, we don't know why, but make up a story, and and we have some evidence. Maybe tie that in to make it like a narrative. And just get that email to me on Thursday so I can review it if that's cool, and then we'll convict him and we'll get him on this. We'll kill him. It'll be good.
Well, it's also, why is law difficult? Why is it so hard to understand these things that were written by humans? Humans created the justice system. Why is it a difficult thing to go through? And it's simply because, loopholes make things easier for our side. They've made it a game, and they've incentivized it because people that are fighting for the rights of other people are getting paid to do so. Mm-hmm. So it's not for the goodness of your heart. Some people it is, but it's genuine. Like anyone that does pro bono shit, that's out of the genuine, goodness of their heart. But most people, fucking no. Mm-hmm. Also people are doing it. I know multiple lawyers, and I know they are good people. It's just like the same thing with people. There's cops that are shit, and then there's good. There are good cops
people
out
everywhere.
there.
There's good theater managers, and there are terrible theater managers.
Yeah.
There are good FedEx customer service representatives, and there are really bad FedEx customer service representatives.
There are good parents, and there are the worst parents.
Yeah.
And
there are good Uber drivers, and then there are bad Uber drivers.
That's true.
They're good.
The difference, though, is that the entire systemic thing of cops is meant to keep, black people killed,
right?
Basically,
and
Go ahead.
Well, this is what you're talking about, these concepts that are impacting, kind of, I guess, the historic factors that impact, for example, the cops.
Yeah.
Or anything is what I'm talking about. Just anything, how it can be kind of boiled down to the many layers of actions that have taken place prior to it in existence right now. That's what I'm talking about when I say there are so many things to think about. Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm. And yet all of a sudden it still just comes back to, we can figure this out. Let's not do that anymore.
Let's hit absentee and mail-in voting again. When you boil it down, yes, they're different slightly. The only way that they're different is that an absentee ballot can be dropped off because a mail-in ballot can only be mailed back, even though it's the same ballot. Now, where are we? And it always comes down to, the mail can't be trusted because it's a corrupt system, and the mail, it's just, listen, motherfucker, every day, 450 million pieces of mail get delivered, and then how many people vote in this country? I think last year it was 135 million, something around there. So that's less.
Voted? No.
Yeah.
Really?
I thought it was
much less than that.
Oh, maybe it was. Maybe it was less. Maybe 120 million? I don't know. But it's a small percent of the population. So, therefore, that's less ballots than pieces of mail. So that wouldn't even increase the pieces of mail, I don't think, because it's not like you're getting a ton of mail on the same day that you're fucking mailing in anyway.
Yeah.
Now where are we? Well, I mean, because and it's always just like this thing that's made up, like Trump is doing with this, to get his way, because if less Democrats vote, he has a better shot. It's a loophole. He is exposing these loopholes and using them to his advantage, just like he did with his first building in New York, where he didn't have to pay taxes on that land for 40 fucking years. He's a fucking piece of shit. Oh, yeah. Anyone that supports him is a piece of shit. We're fucking done. That's it. That's the truth.
There was a comment on Facebook I read about somebody who's like, well, I have to vote for Trump because they chose Biden and I just don't trust him. And I'm like, what the fuck?
What do you trust about this fucking pussy? Did you find how many people voted last year?
Yeah, I gotta say you are right. And I must say I'm shocked. I really, for some reason, thought that less people voted in the election than I thought it was very low. It's like a solid 129 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yep.
I've been trying to retain facts because I'm so fucking sick of dealing with these people. So I go on Facebook maybe 20 minutes a day now. It used to be maybe 5 hours. So
oh geez,
feeling good about that.
Oh geez, that's good at least. Damn it, there's something I was going to ask you. I thought. Quick thing about post office. I actually do trust the post office to get my ballots where they need to go, but I don't trust them to get them there in a timely manner, and that's why I'm trying to encourage everyone to get out and vote super early.
That's the next issue. That's why everyone needs to have register as quick as possible, and mail. If you are going to mail, I recommend I've been listening to Pod Save America, but one of the things they've been saying is if you're healthy and able to go and be a poll worker, because it's mostly old people. So that's a good suggestion.
Have you thought about doing that?
No, I'm terrified of the virus. And I know that if I worked at a poll, it's all up in the air. And if people, here's the deal. If people are coming in to fucking vote, they're not wearing masks. So
I actually think it's different though, because I mean, these are all anecdotal things, right? But I did hear a story about one guy was like the only one without a mask in line, and he was kind of bitching about it. And then he eventually like left of his own accord because he was like, well, if you're all going to be like fucking sheep, I'm going to fucking be here. And he just left. So
that's a story that's a story that warms my heart. I'll give you a story that makes me increasingly annoyed. My friend Ed, he went to vote in person, and this was Tuesday in Michigan. But he went, and then I think he went with a friend or something, and they both had masks on. And then when they got to the township or wherever they went, the people that were working there were like giving him dirty looks, and they weren't wearing masks.
Right.
And it's like, because it's not mandated. So the people, it's two sides of the coin. So there's multiple stories.
And they're right there. It's the most perfect representation is poll workers.
Yep.
You're only going to get people wearing masks or not wearing masks.
Exactly. So
I mean, that's true everywhere, but you know what I mean.
If you have the gumption and you're not paranoid like me, go ahead and do it. Secondly, they recommend registering early and then getting that ballot in as soon as possible, because the one bad thing about this is you could overload the system. So if everyone did it on the exact same day, that's why people don't want you to do it on the exact same day. And getting the ballots in late, then that means that there's a lot of states that are going to throw your fucking ballot out. So those are the issues with mail-in voting. But no one's talking about that. It's all this fraudulent, people are going to steal your identity, people are going to do this, do that. And I'm sorry, every credit card that's been sent to me in the mail has always fucking made it to me. So
I know, right?
I don't know.
It too. I'm so happy I'm finally getting good credit. I get approved for these things.
It's good.
It's awesome. I finally signed up for the Best Buy credit card. I'm going to get the Batman Blu-ray collection. I'm so excited. I'm going to watch Michael Keaton be Batman.
Oh, that's fun. That's a good one.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
You should watch Birdman after all that.
I have it here. I love that movie. Zach Galifianakis, so good.
He is great in it.
So good. When he gets mad at him, he's like, "Can't you like understand? I'm trying to help you." And I'm just like, "Yeah, I get it." He does a lot better job than me. But you know, one I forgot what I was going to say, so I will not never mind. Cut this out. Never mind.
Was it about voting?
It was, and I really wanted to talk to you about it. It was
Absentee, mailing in.
It was an experience. We were talking about how, like, oh, it's a perfect
Masks.
microcosm thing of masks versus no masks, and voting. Doing the whole.
Well, you told your story about the guy on Reddit, and then people shooing him out of the line, basically.
Oh yeah, I don't think this is really where I was going with that, but maybe it is a sign of some of his base. I don't want to say being shamed into submission, but almost just feeling like how people felt towards Clinton, like that were left wing. They were just like, oh fucking, no thanks. I just don't even want to do this right now.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm wondering if it's that sort of like apathetic feeling.
No, I think what the thing is his base is small, but they're loud. That's the thing that people don't like to talk about. It's a low percentage in comparison with the rest of the country. But then the thing is, most of the country, we just figured out, doesn't vote. So we shattered records this Tuesday. I mean, throughout the country, like more people voted.
I saw that in
Michigan.
I think it was Arizona, where it was up like 80% or something for Democrats. It was like 170,000 votes to 150,000, somewhere around there.
Yep, and in 2018, it shot up as well. So it seems like the more talking about these local elections, the more it's like, oh, we should probably do that.
Yeah, let's just vote.
Just the general.
I got to vote for. I think I'm allowed to say this. I voted for Ilhan Omar, and it's crazy because I live in her district. Like, she's a famous senator, or I guess she's not really a senator. She's a congresswoman though. Mm-hmm. She's a representative, and it's so weird to live right now in Minneapolis, where the murder of a man sparked global protests. It also happens to be the same district where it's like the dream team or the new crew or whatever they're calling AOC, Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, and then the fourth one I always forget.
Oh yeah, Rashida Tlaib. She
won. She won again. Handily. She stomped him.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Yeah, it looked good. I was like, good.
I mean, if that's any indication, it's nice too, because these are an indication of what the presidential election's going to be. So if you're getting more turnout from Democrats, I mean, even if some are like going to go and vote for fucking Kanye, there's black Republicans as well, so maybe they're voting for Kanye.
Well, Herman Cain died, so there's one less.
Thank God. I think I said that on the last episode.
You did. You sure did.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think Trump's base is small, and the thing that Biden said today, did you see this thing that he said?
Was it about how he would let the attorney general handle any prosecutions?
No, I don't really have a problem with that.
No, I don't have a problem with that either. I was happy about that. I was like, that's great. That's a hint that, if he gets elected, shit should happen.
He said something to the effect of, unlike black culture, Mexican culture has a lot of diversity and different stories, and they have different feelings about different things or something like that. And I was like, holy fucking shit. That's fucked up. And then I'm like, well, maybe he meant to say not unlike, because the way phrasing works is not unlike the black community. Mexicans also have these. And then I watched it, and that is not what he was trying to say. And it's like, dude, I mean, I'm voting for you out of default, but you are doing more and more things that are making me fucking despise you.
Oh, I mean, despise is such a strong word for me. I mean, I get it. I totally get it, but I think he's just that sort of person. He's from the old guard, and I think he is trying, and he's going to have gaffes. He's 77. And it's not the greatest situation, but I mean, I wouldn't call it hatred when I read comments. But then again, I'm white, so
dude, you gotta watch it, because it blows my mind. Like, I mean, you can kind of explain away that thing that he said with the like, if you don't vote for me, you're not black or something like that. You're like, oh, he's trying to be funny, but it's not. It's like dumb. But this is like, did you mean what you said? It's such a weird thing. But then also, you're like, it becomes this thing of he has had a stutter his whole life, right? So that's the reason that the gaffes happen. And then he also, people say cognitive decline. And it's like, I think it's more of the stuttering thing,
Oh.
and then something comes out, and then it's like, no, I don't think he knows what he's saying.
No, I see what he's saying. He's saying, now when I mean, this is him, I'm quoting him.
Okay.
Now, when I mean full diversity, unlike African American community, many other communities, you're from everywhere, from Europe, from the tip of South America, all the way to our border in Mexico and in the Caribbean, in different backgrounds, different ethnicities, but all Latinos. This is something that we talked about in college, where a lot of people will refer to a Spanish speaker as like Spanish or Mexican, you know, like, oh, that person's Spanish or they're speaking Mexican or whatever. But in reality, they come from so many geographic areas, like around the world, and you will see different skin tones depending on the culture of what country you're in.
I know that
will speak Spanish. So I'm just saying I get what he's saying. It probably shouldn't have been said like that, because it will be picked up and it will be dissected.
It's just the word unlike. It's like if he would have said not unlike, because black people have that as well. You have Africans, you have people from what's the Haiti, right?
It's funny.
Cultures.
Sorry, I just think it is funny because there are obviously black Latinos also.
For sure.
So I'm not, I guess, while I get what he's saying, at the same time, there's black people everywhere. There's white people everywhere. There's brown people everywhere.
I mean, it's clearly a ploy to, like,
energize the Latino base.
Yes,
that's
course
what he's
that's
trying
what he's
to
doing.
do.
But he's also shitting on another culture to do it, and it's like it's not. I don't want to say he did it intentionally, because I know he's not trying to, because he wants every vote possible.
Right.
But he inadvertently said, "Fuck black people."
I know it is funny because he easily. The way that he needs to play this, and he's done it so far up until just now, and I just read this. It came out like 4 hours ago, so it's pretty recent. All he has to do is say nothing, except for "you're an idiot, you're an idiot, you're an idiot" to Trump, while also saying, like, "I'm not going to use Twitter, and I'm going to focus on foreign policy, et cetera, like basic stuff." So it sucks because I think it's just weird. I just have to say every single thing is going to be reported on, and it sucks. I hate how everything gets reported on every single facet of someone's life.
I'm pretty sure that something that's more pressing right now than what I just brought up is for sure taking down Jizz Lady and getting all those names.
Oh yeah,
and
for sure.
Not using false information to do it, by the way, because there's something that's going around where someone says the files and the names have leaked, and then it's a big laundry list of all these people, and it's like, okay, let's check out that first name. Oh, the guy quit 6 years ago. Okay, well,
one was Prince Andrew.
We've all fucking known that. Like,
I know, but it's nice to, like, it's nice to see it reflected in the legal document.
Yeah, I want to see everyone fucking go down.
Could
you imagine if both of our names showed up and you're like, I never even met the Jew? I'm kidding, everybody. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not that rich. Come on.
Neither was he.
Jeffrey Epstein?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't finished the documentary yet. It gets repetitive after episode 3.
It does. He lied about everything, and then he received money that way. But I don't think he ever had much. Like, I think it was mostly lying about a lot of shit. So
nice.
Embezzling money, and he's
inflating your self-worth. Not self-worth. Sure. I mean, self-worth. Yeah, like what Trump did with Deutsche Bank by applying for that loan by saying he was worth like $2 billion more than he was. Yep. So funny. I love the idea that it's like, just have an extra $2 billion. Like, no.
Did you watch The American Dream or something? It's a documentary on him on Netflix. Watch that, or whatever one. It's like The American Dream or something like that. But I watched it, and it's like, that guy is a fucking pathological liar. He would go... Like, one day he'd say he's worth this amount of money, and then like 4 hours later he'd say he's worth this amount of money. He doesn't even know how much he's fucking worth. But
I'm worth a lot. I promise. I'm worth so much money.
like 45 million, 57 million, 105 million. It's insane. American Deal, maybe that's what it's called. Hold on, let me. But I watched it here. I'm gonna pull it up. I've watched so many things on Trump, and it's nice to know. And yeah, Trump and American Dream. That's what it is.
Oh, that I heard about that. Yeah,
watch it.
I don't want to.
Dude, this is from July 24th. Trump's DHS tried to block Netflix from airing Immigration Nation.
Yeah, I heard about that one.
I started watching that, and I fucking hate those pieces of shit. The ICE agents.
To be fair, ICE is great in soda.
Oh, they are?
Soft drinks, specifically.
True. Good. Okay.
Yeah, because not soft drink, fountain drinks.
I still say pop.
Oh, you ass. Say soda like an adult.
You are only saying that because you live in Minnesota now.
I've been saying soda since before that because pop sounds awful. Hey, I'm going to get some pop. Do you want some pop?
Wow, you really popped my balloon on that one.
Soda has 2 syllables.
Kevin, I'm going to pop your cherry. I'm going to pop your cherry soda.
At least it's not like the South where they call everything Coke. What kind of Coke you want?
I guess a Sprite.
I fucking, whatever. Anyway, this has been really long, and it's time for me to go for my run.
Have fun with your run.
I got to run. I will, yeah. It's going to be the Michael Scott Rabies Awareness Fun Run Race for the Cure, Meredith Palmer. How close was I?
Maybe we'll get to these next week. Maybe. Who knows?
Damn it. Well, this is like an hour and a half, right?
Yeah. This is a good one.
No, it's not. Delete it all.
No.
Everyone's going to be mad that I defended Joe Biden.
No, they're not. It's 4 people that listen.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm gonna go on record and say this before we go. I'm voting for Joe Biden. I hate Trump that much, but I hate the idea that it's once again between 2 of the lesser evils. That's how I'm looking at this, and we could have had actual change. I'm willing to take that 2 steps back so we can take 3 steps forward later. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. It's just not meant for our generation at this moment in time. That's what it is. It's just not. It's not in the cards. But I do have to say, gosh, he did not word this well.
No!
You know, it sucks, though, because I'm using these same arguments that people make for Trump when he says the dumbest shit.
But at least Biden would be competent. He would be competent because he would be surrounding himself with people he can easily listen to. He formed that task force with AOC, Bernie Sanders. They're all on that task force.
Elizabeth Warren, Kamala Harris would be involved.
They're all communicating. They're all doing the fucking work. They're doing more work right now than Trump is, and he's been president for almost 4 years.
I know, again, then when NPR is like, President Trump is considering measures, like, no, he is not. No. He's not considering anything. He's considering if he can take a shit on that chair or not.
I'm considering measuring my penis. I've always wanted to know how long it is. And Trump Jr., get over here. Come here. Can you stretch it out, please? Can you hold it, please? Stretch it out long. Okay, now measure from my asshole. Don't be bad. Thank you. Thank you, Trump Jr. Barrett, get in here, Barrett.
All right.
Poor
I'll
Barrett.
see you. I know. I'll see you, bud.
I'll see you later. We'll get to that next time. We'll get to all those Kerrit Gmail accounts later. Bye, everyone. Stay safe out there.